Welcome to This Explainer. When we talk about high intelligence, we almost always focus on how a person thinks, right? We picture logic, complex problem solving, rapid processing speeds, but psychology reveals a completely fascinating reality. Having a high IQ profoundly alters what a person feels. It actually shapes this entire hidden emotional reality that almost nobody talks about. Let's dive right into it.
Section 1. The myth of intelligence. So, society operates on this massive assumption. We tend to imagine extremely intelligent individuals as, well, perfectly optimized, kind of like these superheroes who are permanently radiating confidence and total control. But reality is quite different. Yes, obviously intelligence creates massive advantages, but it also carries a quiet weight. We're talking unseen emotional burdens and private discomforts. If you've ever felt that inexplicable, heavy weight despite all your capabilities, well, this is exactly why.
Section 2. Alone in a crowd. Picture this. You're standing at a bustling social gathering. You're completely surrounded by people, maybe even trapped in a conversation about, I don't know, the weather, yet you feel profoundly, totally isolated. Well, psychology calls this cognitive mismatch, and it's not about disliking people. It's an actual difference in cognitive styles. Highly intelligent people absolutely crave deep, complex mental stimulation. So when everyday conversations just don't engage those analytical gears, it creates a very real, very deep social loneliness. So the crucial point is you're present physically, but you're just not being met mentally. And man, it is an incredibly isolating feeling to just nod and smile while your brain is essentially starving for a more complex exchange of ideas. That distinct, lingering loneliness you might feel at a networking event, it's simply a reflection of this cognitive mismatch.
Section 3. The restless, frustrated mind.
Now, this leads us to a very specific, everyday friction, the profound frustration caused by obvious problems. Because a high IQ brain is basically constantly analyzing, you automatically notice inefficient systems, like, say, an incredibly poorly designed line at a grocery store. You instantly see preventable mistakes unfolding in real time, and you see these simple, elegant solutions that everyone else seems, well, completely oblivious to. Honestly, higher analytical processing essentially guarantees a noticeably lower tolerance for unnecessary inefficiency. And here's the tricky part. This often gets misinterpreted by others as anger or maybe impatience, but here is the vital realization. You're not angry at people, you're reacting to wasted potential. It's this quiet, private frustration. It really isn't a character flaw or a sign that you're just in a bad mood. It is quite literally an automatic byproduct of high cognition. Your brain simply cannot unsee the inefficiencies that others are totally blind to. And because of all that processing power, there's a profound inability to fully switch off. It creates this stark contrast between the body and the mind. Your physical form might be resting completely still on the couch, really trying to go offline for the night. But the brain stubbornly stays online, moving constantly, rigorously analyzing patterns and running through endless scenarios. For highly active minds, mental stillness is incredibly, incredibly hard to access. The off switch just doesn't work the same way.
Section 4. Misunderstood and unsatisfied.
Have you ever felt a really deep sense of being misunderstood when you're just trying to explain yourself? The blueprint in your head is absolutely flawless, but there's a massive aha realization here. Complex thoughts often lose clarity when translated into everyday language. Abstract thinkers feel misunderstood not because their ideas are wrong, no, but because linguistic compression is incredibly difficult. Trying to shrink a massive, multi-layered concept down into everyday words without losing its essence, well, that's a really heavy burden to carry. This intense level of processing also creates a relentless and honestly often unsatisfying achievement loop. It goes like this. You reach a goal you've worked incredibly hard for, but almost immediately, boom, that satisfaction fades. Instead of celebrating, your mind rapidly jumps to the next problem, the next big challenge. Psychology links this directly to a high novelty drive. Basically, your brain simply demands the next puzzle. To the highly intelligent mind, the actual achievement of ticking off a goal often feels kind of hollow. It's temporary, like a fragile trophy. But what actually feels meaningful, what truly satiates that high-speed brain of yours, is the continuous organic process of growth. It is the journey of solving the problem itself, not that momentary applause at the finish line. Section 5. The quietest burdens. Now, you might be wondering, if these intense emotional experiences are so profound, why do they remain practically invisible to the rest of the world?
Well, it's because smart people hide their struggle behind their competence. If you are highly intelligent, you are generally very, very good at functioning. You hit your deadlines, you solve the problems, and you maintain the facade perfectly. The very intellect that causes these private discomforts provides the exact tools you need to perfectly mask them. The sharpest minds absolutely carry the heaviest, quietest burdens. So, as we've seen, extremely high intelligence doesn't just shape how you think, it undeniably shapes how you feel. From the deep loneliness of a cognitive mismatch, to the frustrating inability to just switch off, to the fleeting nature of achievement. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to reflect on. Which of these feelings do you relate to most? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring those incredible minds, and I'll catch you next time.